Intense campaigning for the Bihar Assembly elections is on, and it is widely being described as a break or make election. To give us a perspective and an assessment, we have Janata Dal United leader, MP, spokesperson Pavan Varma with us. So, what is your estimate and assessment about the elections in Bihar?
The Grand Coalition, the Mahagathbandhan as it is called, consisting of the JDU, the RJD and the Congress, is well positioned to win and possibly with a landslide victory.
Various people that you had hoped would be joining you, like the left, which has gone in a separate alliance, like Mulayam Singh Yadav, who was heading this grand alliance and has left you in the middle of it all. Isn't that going to impact on you?
I don't believe so. The left, of course, made a unilateral announcement that they would like to fight the election on their own. Their support would have been important, but they are fighting on their own. Their influence in Bihar is limited. Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav in the SP was never a part of the Grand Coalition. He could have headed a possible merger of the parties of the erstwhile Janata Parivar, but that merger never took place. So, in the Grand Coalition actually formed in Bihar, the SP was never a part. There was some move to give them a symbolic few seats, which was not acceptable to them, and so they are not with us as they were not supposed to be with us.
Right from the beginning, is it?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so the left is the one that really walked off.
The left did not walk off. They unilaterally decided that they would fight this election on their own. Because as you are aware, it's the CPI-ML and the CPI which have some form of support in Bihar and much less the CPIM and the other smaller units of the left. It's a free democratic country. People can make their choice.
Yes, of course. But in an election where it's very crucial and which is being seen as something that's going to impact on national politics after the Bihar elections, then it would have been you would have been far more confident if you had all of them, right?
Ideally, you would have been happy if all the forces which are seeking to put up a united front against the current BJP led by Mr. Narendra Modi were together. If, however, some units or some forces are not, we have to assess what's their impact on the Grand Coalition. My own feeling is that I have great respect for the leaders of the left, but their actual influence is not beyond 10 or 12 seats of some nature of influence out of 243 seats. So, if they have made a unilateral decision without consulting us, there is little we can do, but I don't believe it significantly or even potentially in any way reduces the essential consolidated strength of the JDU RJD Congress combined.
Are there fissures between the RJD and the Congress? I mean, you keep hearing from the RJD camp or the Congress camp that Lalu Prasad didn't want to attend this rally because Rahul Gandhi was there, and in the first rally also there was some tensions.
To my mind, it's completely untrue to say that there are fissures in the Mahagathbandhan. I say this because if you needed a demonstration of it, you should have been present at the Gandhi Maidan on 30th August, where we held one of the biggest rallies that Bihar has ever seen. I was present there myself, and not an inch of the historic Gandhi Maidan had space for anyone else to be there. The whole ground was packed, and there were as many people outside as there were inside. And what is significant is two things. Those who came for the rally were people who had not been brought there through money power. These were the people who were seeking social justice, the poor, the farmers, the laborers who had come on their own to show solidarity with the Mahagathbandhan. And the other interesting thing is that the supporters did not come in three streams. The JDU workers coming at one, the RJD, the other Congress. They were all moving together, and the JDU worker was actually raising slogans in support of Lalu Prasad ji, and the RJD von Nitish Kumar and the Congress person was holding a JDU flag, and the other two parties were saying Sonia Gandhi Zindabad and so on and so forth. So they came together. There's a very good interface with the three alliance partners, and this is also partly because we finished the business of setting up the coalition early. First the BJP said we'll never come together. Then we proved them wrong. Then they said we'll never be able to divide seats. Then we proved them wrong. Then they said we'll never be able to name a chief minister. Then we proved them wrong. So at the ground level, I believe there's very good coordination between the three parties. There are no fissures, and we will put up a strong coalition.
And what about the top leadership? There's
Top
no problem
leadership,
there?
in fact.
Is there a problem, let me ask you specifically, between Lalu and between Rahul Gandhi?
I don't believe so, and I have no reason to believe so, because if that was the case, how would the Congress have joined the Grand Coalition? Why would Sonia Gandhi have herself come for that massive rally? So I don't believe that is an issue at all. It's the media which is creating an issue, and the BJP is fanning a distortion.
What is the USP in the sense of the campaign? Development, of course, but then development, you have Prime Minister Modi saying the same thing, and you have Chief Minister Nitish Kumar saying the same thing. So what else is there? What is really working for you? The DNA card that was played by the Janata Dal United, I don't know whether it really...
No, there are four or five issues which we believe are the central pillars of our counter narrative to the BJP. One is, of course, good governance and economic development. And here we contrast it to that of what is on offer from the BJP, because in the 15-16 months that the BJP has been in power at the center, we've seen that the slogan of economic development has remained a slogan. So much of what was promised has not been implemented, and so much else which is wrong is going on under the slogan of economic development, which in any case is not happening. So good governance, economic development. But along with that, social justice, inclusive growth, so that the fruits of economic development reach the poorest of the poor, the marginalized, the oppressed. And along with that, it is our belief that all of this should be done in a milieu, an ethos of religious and social harmony in conformity with the plural ethos of our country. Now, to that has been added a fifth plank, which is that of the pride of Bihar. Because every time the Prime Minister Narendra Modi has come, he has insulted the people of Bihar, and that is why Swabhiman or pride is also one of the factors.
And it's working on the ground?
I'm sure it is. Every day lakhs of DNA samples are reaching the Prime Minister, asking him to have it checked in case he has any doubts about the DNA of people of Bihar.
But you know, the BJP seems to be also working accordingly. It is looking at your vote banks, the ones that come in, the other backwards, the Dalits, and trying to create fissures by picking up people from there, like the former Chief Minister Manji, etc. So if that dent starts working, then isn't that going to shift your base?
Essentially, the BJP's electoral support base is shallow.
The upper castes are there.
It has, let us say, some strength among the upper caste, but even that is not fully consolidated. It has, because of Mr. Paswan and Mr. Manji, partial support of possibly some Dalits and some Mahadalits. A large chunk of the voters are the extremely backward class, where they may have the support of the Kushwahas and so on and so forth. But even these are not guaranteed, because as you may be aware, none of the minor alliance partners are happy with the cynical seat distribution done by the BJP. As a matter of conscious strategy, it has taken the bulk of the seats and postponed the seat allocation to the last minute. in the planned strategy that they would have no options but to accept. But there are great tensions running in the NDA alliance, and how much that will translate into votes with unhappy voters and supporters is to be seen. As contrary to this, on our side, we have vote support for Mr. Nitish Kumar's good governance cutting across caste lines. We have bastions of strength. For instance, Mr. Lalu Prasad ji is the unquestioned leader of the Yadavs. Of course, we have people from all faiths supporting Mr. Nitish Kumar, and in particular, I would say the backward, quote unquote, those castes which have been socially or economically deprived over centuries, for whom Mr. Nitish Kumar has done a lot, not in terms of good intention, but conscious policy, institutionalized planning. He is the person who created the Mahadalit category to see that benefits actually reach the poorest of the poor. He had created the category of the extremely backward to ensure the same. So he has large areas of support base, and that is why even today, after 9 years as Chief Minister, almost every poll shows that he is the first choice for all Bihar people in terms of Chief Ministership.
So talking of the Chief Ministership, do you think it would have been a tougher fight if the BJP had named a candidate for the Chief Ministership?
No, there are views on it. It's an internal matter of the BJP, but certainly a campaign which does not have a candidate for Chief Minister appears to people of Bihar to be odd. And unless Mr. Narendra Modi, who's their only face, is planning to take additional charge of Bihar as Chief Minister, it is a lacuna, it is something that is an anomaly. And the people of Bihar are saying that you cannot have Bihar run by Gujarat. We respect the people of Gujarat, but if on all the posters and hoardings in Bihar have only Mr. Narendra Modi and Amit Shah, people are asking who's your candidate. But the BJP has a genuine problem. There are so many
too many candidates,
self-anointed candidates for the Chief Ministership, that there would be a literal revolt within the party if they were to declare it.
So there is another big vote bank, in fact one of the consolidated vote banks, which is that of the minorities for the Janata Dal United. And there is that hesitation of speaking about it because of fear of polarization, which the BJP is trying to do. Now, how much of a dent is Owaisi going to make in that? Because he's shown in Maharashtra that he is able to garner a lot of votes.
Not at all. My short answer to you is, we are a democratic country. Any party has the right, if recognized by the Election Commission, to fight the elections. Mr. Owaisi says he'll put up candidates in the Simanchal region, but he's never been to Simanchal for a very long time. He's come in at the last minute. I believe that our thinking is absolutely and crystal clear. It is that we are against fundamentalist thinking of a religious nature, both among the Hindus and among the Muslims. Our vision for Bihar's economic development is religion neutral. It includes Hindus and it includes Muslims. Our grand coalition has nothing to do with Mr. Owaisi.
Well, before the hypothetical question about the young people, now it was shown in the last Lok Sabha elections that they have a certain, they were mesmerized to some extent by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and some reports suggest that he still has that backing cutting across caste lines in Bihar. Is that true? And if that is true, then that could make a major difference to the final outcome.
Well, actually what has happened is that there has been a major decline in the shine and gloss of Mr. Narendra Modi in terms of his appeal to most Indians, but especially the young, in the 15-16 months that he has been in power at the center. There were extravagant promises he made about growth of the economy, about job creation, and other areas which have not fructified. He continues to make promises, and there is no doubt that there was a section of the youth, especially those who had voted for the first time last year, who were to some extent under the thrall of Mr. Modi. But that is very rapidly diminishing, because as against his generalized promises, Mr. Nitish Kumar has promised concrete measures for the young. First, and these are his 7 decisions or 7 nischayas, or the 7 points that constitute his blueprint for the future, which will be implemented in mission mode over and above whatever else is being planned for the state, which will continue. Of these, the first thing is to provide anyone who goes to college, 10+2 onwards, a 4 lakh credit card with a 3% interest subvention from the state. The second is to provide the young between the ages of 20 and 25 who have acquired a degree and are looking for a job, but don't have the means to sustain themselves in the interim or to pay the fare to go for an interview, 1,000 rupees a month for up to 9 months within a period of 2 years. Then he has said that all colleges and universities in Bihar will have free Wi-Fi connectivity. Fourthly, he set up a 500 crore venture capital fund where on highly subsidized interests there will be loans available to those among the young who want to set up enterprises of their own. So cumulatively, these are very concrete things offered to the youth.
But there is a, there is a USP of the person himself, and Modi is seen by the young people, at least from the Lok Sabha elections and some of the elections subsequently, as a very charismatic person who seems to appeal to whatever aspirations they might have. Whether he does it on the ground or not might be immaterial. Whereas these are concrete measures.
I don't agree that it's immaterial. No? I don't believe the youth are cretins. I don't believe they don't have a cranium. They are thinking people. And if something is promised and nothing is delivered, I don't believe that they have no faculty to draw their own inferences. And then you have to see what is on hand and what is being offered merely as a general promise, what is called as a jumla, a promise made just for the sake of getting votes. And on the other side, you have very concrete things on offer for the youth who in any case, even if they are young, have seen the transformation of Bihar as part of growing up in Bihar. Take the question of law and order. It affects the middle class and the youth. Today anyone can be out till any time at night in Patna and other cities without the fear of law and order. But the youth is concerned about other things. The youth is concerned about no new job creation or jobless growth. The youth is concerned and their families about skyrocketing prices. The youth is concerned, in my view, about the fact that the economy is going downhill. Exports have fallen for 10 months in a row. Industrial production is down. Agricultural growth is down. There is hardly any parameter of economics where the performance of the government has been creditworthy, all of which affects both employment and optimism in the youth.
Earlier when I had met you, you had spoken once about the money power by the BJP and the efforts to communalize and polarize the state. Has this been working? I mean, money power is obviously something quite formidable. Does that give them a decided advantage?
These are things which we brought to the notice of the Election Commission. The BJPs, as I have said in one of my quotes, is, to our mind, appears to be spending money like the Ganga in flood. We expect the voter to be sensible.
What about the polarization? That's more insidious.
That is a card that the BJP has used consistently along with the RSS. We saw in UP the Love Jihad campaign, the Ghar Wapsi campaign, and we expect the BJP to use every trick in the book to win this election, to try and win this election by hook or by crook. That is why Mr. Amit Shah is mistakenly considered an electoral strategist, not because he has a vision to win elections on a free and fair basis, but because he is able to use the Chanakyan idiom of Sam Dam Dand Bhed in any possible way to win an election. We are aware of it and we will fight it.
So that brings me to the hypothetical question that if you win, so we know that's going to give a fillip to the opposition and it's going to result in a lot of regional equations. But what happens if you lose and the BJP wins? How is that going to impact on the nation?
I don't believe that's a likelihood, but even if that were to happen, I believe the Grand Coalition and in particular my party's leader Mr. Nitish Kumar will remain a towering and relevant figure in the changing landscape of Indian politics. And we are looking not only to this election but to 2019 for a credible counter narrative which provides growth and development to this country but linked to social justice in an atmosphere which embraces the plural ethos of our nation. The kind of government that we are seeing is its direct antithesis.
So the fight will go on.
The fight will go on. We are a democracy.